Good morning friends. Today we will discuss about Francis turbine, how to find the efficiency of your Francis turbine, and this is your experiment number 3 in your hydraulic machine and industrial fluid power lab, and I am Manas Kumar Mishra. And next we go to the next slide. This is your aim of the experiment, to find out the efficiency of Francis turbine. And next, introduction to Francis turbine. Francis turbines are the most preferred hydraulic turbines. We know that there are many turbines like your Pelton turbine, your Kaplan turbine, but Francis turbine contributes about 60% of global hydropower capacity. It is an inward flow reaction type hydraulic turbine used in dams and reservoirs to convert hydraulic energy into mechanical energy. And by installing a generator to the shaft of the turbine, we can produce electric energy. So we can conclude that this hydraulic turbine converts your hydraulic energy into electric energy. Next, the runner utilizes both kinetic energy and pressure energy of the water. Here, the Francis turbine's runner utilizes both kinetic energy and pressure energy of the water. In this turbine, the flow is mixed type flow. Mixed type flow means the water enters the runner radially and leaves the runner axially. Next, it is a medium head type of turbine, that is 60 to 200 meters. It works on medium head. And these are different parts of your Francis turbine. This part is your runner. This is the actual runner, yes. And these are guide vanes. In this figure, this is not clear. Next figure I will show you. This is the actual. So here is your spiral casing. These are the main four parts. One is spiral casing, second one is guide vanes, third one is runner, fourth one is draft tube. So here is your runner, this portion. This is your runner, and these are the guide vanes. These are the guide vanes. And this is your spiral casing. And water enters to the runner via a penstock. Next, we will discuss about spiral casing. It is the outer covering of the turbine. It prevents turbine from any mechanical damage, and spiral casing is in decreasing in cross-sectional area. Here you can see that at this section, the cross-sectional area of the spiral casing is much larger, much higher than that of at this section. So the casing is decreasing in cross-sectional area from the entry point of water to the end. By decreasing the cross-sectional area, we maintain a constant velocity of water entering to the runner. At the entry point, at the entry point, the velocity of water will be more than that at the end of the case. At this point, the velocity of water entering to the runner will be more. And here the area is more. Okay. So we have to decrease the cross-sectional area of the casing to maintain a uniform entry of water, a uniform flow of water to the runner. So we have to decrease the cross-sectional area of the casing at this portion, so that a proper uniform velocity of water from all the sections will enter to the runner. Next, guide vanes. Guide vanes do not rotate actually, but they guide the water to the runner blades. And when the water strikes the runner rotates. The guide vanes or stay vanes are actually installed inside this spiral casing. These are the stay vanes installed inside face of the spiral casing. The guide vanes or stay vanes are fitted at the entrance of the runner. The basic purpose is to convert one part of pressure energy to kinetic energy. The guide vane mechanism is to control water flow rate and flow angle to the runner. The guide vanes makes sure that inlet flow angle is at optimum angle of attack for maximum power extraction from the fluid. So what will happen if we don't use guide vanes? If we don't use guide vanes, the water directly hits the runner blades and the runner blades will experience severe shock. Due to that shock, the runner will not be able to rotate at a uniform speed or at a higher RPM. Then the efficiency of your turbine will be very low. So this is why we use guide vanes to prevent the runner of the Francis turbine to prevent it from any shock or any jerk. So here is your main part, runner. This is the actual water enters into the turbine through a penstock. A penstock is a pipe of large dia which carries water from the reservoir to the turbine. The runner blades are specially set. This is one runner blade. There are many runner blades installed in this turbine. Runner blades varies in number from 16 to 24 according to our need. Here is the one runner blade. You can see the shape of the runner blade, single runner blade. Runner blades are specially shaped. Blades are having thin airfoil cross section. So when water flows over it, low pressure will be produced on one side and high pressure on the other side. This will result in lift force. Suppose this is your low pressure side and this is your high pressure side. When water strikes the runner blade, here is your low pressure side and here is your high pressure side. So due to pressure difference, a lift force will be generated. And one more thing is that the blades have bucket kind of shape towards the outlet at this portion. This portion is your bucket kind of shape. So water will hit and produce an impulse force before leaving the runner. And this will produce an impulsive force. Both these lift force and impulse force make the runner rotate. This will rotate due to these two forces, lift force and impulse force. So Francis turbine is not a pure reaction turbine because a proportion of force comes from the impulse action also. Next, as the water flows over the runner blades, both its kinetic energy and pressure energy will be decreased. After striking the runner blades, the water falls through the gap of the runner blades to a pipe. This pipe transmits the water to the tail race. And this pipe is known as your draft tube. You can see here is your reservoir and via a penstock we transmit this water to your turbine, then turbine to tail race where water gets reserved after striking the turbine. And this water is transmitted from turbine to the tail race via a draft tube. The tail race is nothing but where the water deposited after coming out from the turbine. And here is your draft tube. You can see the area. The area is gradually increasing from this towards this. From inlet to outlet, the area is gradually increasing. So draft tube is a pipe with increasing cross-sectional area like a diffuser. So the velocity of water coming out from it will decrease. And it means that the kinetic energy of the water will also go on decreasing. So where will this kinetic energy go? That kinetic energy will convert into pressure head. So instead of wasting our kinetic energy, we simply convert it into pressure head so that the water from the tail race can be taken to the height of the reservoir easily. And one more thing, also by using a draft tube, we can reduce the cavitation problem. We know that cavitation problem is a common problem in Francis turbines. So we can reduce that cavitation problem by making this trap tube like this, increasing cross-sectional area. As the cross-sectional area of the trap tube gradually increases, the pressure force also increases. From continuity equation and Bernoulli's theorem, we know these things, and it increases the vapor pressure of water at outlet. As the vapor pressure of the water at outlet increases, so we can reduce the cavitation problems. Next, experimental setup, and this is the machine setup to find the efficiency of the Francis turbine. At this portion, the turbine is installed at this portion. Okay, here is the Francis turbine, and the arrangement is to find the efficiency of the Francis turbine. We will go to the machine practically. We will go to the machine and see different parts and different sections of the machine. The actual experimental setup facility supplied consists of centrifugal pump set. This is your centrifugal pump. Centrifugal pump is installed here, and there is a motor. This centrifugal pump is driven by this motor. And the purpose of centrifugal pump is to create a positive energy. Next, centrifugal pump, turbine unit. This is your turbine, Francis turbine unit, this portion. And water tank arrangement, this is your water tank as recirculating water system. The centrifugal pump set supplies the water from water tank to the turbine through control valves and pipe arrangement. Water circulates from this tank and goes through this centrifugal pump through this pipe and then strikes the Francis turbine runner and then transmits to the water tank via this trap tube. And there are pressure gauge arrangements over here to find different readings, to calculate the efficiency. The loading of the Pelton turbine, the loading of the Francis turbine is achieved by a rope brake dynamometer, a rope brake drum connected to spring balance. Next, these are the things we require to find the efficiency of Francis turbine. This is your water supply. We need water supply, 3-phase current supply, your drainage system, and a tachometer to find the RPM of the runner. And this is the experimental procedure, starting procedure and ending procedure. First starting procedure is, first one, mark the main switch is an off position. Before going to the machine setup, first mark that the main switch is in your off position. This is for your safety. Next, make the tank free from any dust or any foreign particles, make it free from any dust. Next, close the drain valve. Next, fill the tank up to 75% of its volume with water. Switch on the main power supply. Fully open the bypass valve before starting of the pump. Next, switch on the pump with the help of the starter. Next, open the bypass valve provided. Next, regulate the discharge by regulating the bypass valve. In the same way, we have done it for impulse turbine, and we are following the same procedure for Francis turbine also. We done these things for your impulse turbine. In previous video, you can follow that video also. Next, regulate the discharge by regulating the bypass valve. Next, load the turbine with the help of hand wheel attached to the spring balance. We apply load by using your spring balance arrangement. Next, note the pressure head reading and note the pressure head reading for orifice meter to find the Q or discharge. Next, note the RPM reading of your Francis turbine runner by using a tachometer, and note the spring balance reading for the load W1 and W2. Next, repeat the same procedure for different loads and different discharge. Next, closing procedure. After your experiment has been done and you calculated all these things, your efficiency, next you close your machine. For that, first remove the load, first check the load and remove the load, open the bypass valve, switch off the pump with the help of a starter and switch off the main power supply. and this is your observation table. For fast reading, serial number 1, find out the RPM of the runner. Next, pressure head reading. Next, differential pressure P1 minus P2, that is from your orifice meter. Inlet of orifice and outlet of orifice. How much pressure you are getting? P1 at the inlet and P2 at the outlet of the orifice. Next, W1 kg and W2 in kg. These are the load you apply through your spring balance. So all these things you observe from first reading, for second reading, for third reading, and you can take as many as readings you want. And this is your calculation table. For fast reading, this is your RPM, head of water in meter. That pressure gauge reading is in kg per centimeter square, so you have to convert that in meter. Next, discharge Q. Next, output power, input power, efficiency. And these are the nomenclatures. P is the pressure gauge reading, kg per centimeter square. This is the diameter of the pipe in meter square. Meter. It is meter. And A is area of pipe, meter square. Rho W, density of water. Rho M, P1, P2, W1, W2. Next, N, RPM of runner. dB, diameter of brake drum. And dr, diameter of row. Next, W, W1 minus W2, difference between two spring balances. Total load, W. G equal to acceleration due to gravity. R equal to effective radius. R equal to, we know that dB plus 2dr divided by 2. dB plus 2dr divided by 2. Similarly, we have done it for Pelton meter. Next, Q equal to discharge, S equal to total head in meter. And this is the calculation part to find out the overall efficiency of the Francis turbine. This is shaft power, the ratio of shaft power to the water power in 200 in terms of percentage. To find out the shaft power is your output power. To find out the output power, we have this formula 2 pi nt divided by 60,000 in terms of kilowatt. So T equal to torque, total torque applied. This is your load part, Wg, load part, Re, distance, load into distance. So you get the torque applied on your runner or flywheel. Next, Re, equivalent radius, is equal to dB plus 2dr by 2. Next is your input power or water power supplied to the runner. Rho G Q into H divided by 1000 kilowatt, and Q is equal to CD into this much, and we converted this CD A1 A2 this portion to a constant. This is constant for orifice meter, no? So this portion is getting converted into K. This is orifice meter constant, and we calculated this and find that the value is to be 5.81 into 10 to the minus 3. And here is your H, root over H, pressure difference of the orifice meter. Next, K is your orifice meter constant, and H equal to head of the water in meter, and H equal to pressure difference at the orifice. This is in meter. Now we shall go to the machine setup and take the reading of different pressure gauges and RPM and loads, and then we put those things in this formula, and we find the efficiency of the Francis turbine for different readings, for different load and different RPM.